Let's go to the San Antonio Spurs, who you mentioned there at pick 2, getting Dylan Harper, who, if this were really any other draft that didn't have a Cooper Flagg or a Victor Wembanyama a couple years ago, Dylan Harper probably would have been the consensus number 1. So the Spurs get him to pair with Wemby as well. And not only that, they had another pick at the end of the lottery at 14, and they were able to snag Carter Bryant as well. So, Ben, those 2 picks getting Harper and Bryant there, this makes the Spurs one of the big time winners of this draft.
I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, I was really impressed with the Spurs did on draft night. Of course, Dylan Harper. I mean, what wasn't like their most important position of need, but it was smart of them to take the best player available because of how talented Dylan Harper was, especially compared to other guys that were left. Definitely was the most talented player left, and I think he could end up fitting in on the Spurs all right and could be a great building block about around Wemby. I think in the future that once Harper develops more, that him and Wemby could become a really scary duo there in San Antonio, and it and getting Carter Bryant at pick 14. Wow, I wasn't totally expecting Carter Bryant to fall to 14. I was thinking most likely not, but wow, the league somehow did. And Spurs did a great job of taking advantage of that and picking him. And I think he could be a pretty good free and deep player in the NBA. A guy that should be a solid depth piece for the Spurs going forward. So the Spurs are going to be scary going forward in the future, especially after this draft.
Yeah, I mean, it really is incredible. I mean, Carter Bryant, the perfect prototypical Spurs player. Somehow the NBA allows him to just fall right into their hands. I mean, it really is incredible. And Dylan Harper, yeah, an incredibly talented player. With the size there, a 6'6" point guard. Nick has talked about before on this podcast, just his ability to find different angles when attacking the basket. Has a lot of Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson. I've seen a lot of those types of comparisons to Harper's game. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the Spurs will now handle this point guard room that they have now, because now they have Dylan Harper. They have the reigning rookie of the year in Stephon Castle, who was very good for them. And yeah, oh, by the way, they traded for an all-star at the middle of last season with De'Aaron Fox. So what are they going to do now? I mean, it, do you think, Ben, that if the Spurs had a crystal ball in February and they had the foresight that they would get the number 2 pick and be able to get Dylan Harper, would the Spurs still have traded for Fox at the deadline if they had known that they would now have these 3 really talented point guards now on their team?
Oh, tough question. I mean, they somehow knew that. That I guess most likely that, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, look, it's not like Harper's gonna be amazing. Uh, Probably to start the season, and he can just start off by learning from De'Aaron Fox, who will be a great guy to learn from off the bat because Fox has played plenty of years already in the NBA, and he's a great point guard himself who likes to do similar things that I think Dylan Harper likes to do with his game. So with that aspect, I mean, I think that's a good thing for Harper. And I mean, what's De'Aaron Fox you know somehow it's declining or something and is getting older, but Harper, should be already super good. It could just slide right in and take the reins there, point guard. And so it's not the worst thing in the world, and it'll be fine for the Spurs going forward. And I think it's great that there's multiple pretty good point guards that can actually get Wemby the ball and get him going. I mean, I think that just scare other teams going into next year.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad problem to have, having all of these talented point guards. I mean, if at the worst in 3 years, the worst player of the three is Stephon Castle, which could be possible, then that's going to be really good. I mean, because all these guys would have trade value if it did come to that point, but also because of the size that both Castle and Harper have at that point guard position, they can play other positions too. I mean, there are worlds where I'm sure Mitch Johnson's going to try some lineups where all three point guards are out there together with Wembanyama and maybe Sohan at the four. I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities that the Spurs can go here, and what is still a developing team. I mean, I know there were talks at the beginning of the offseason that hey, maybe this draft pick gets traded to the Bucks for Giannis, but that most likely is not going to happen at this point. It looks like Giannis is going to stay with Milwaukee. But because those talks were happening, lots of people were thinking, hey, maybe the Spurs can jump up into contender status. And maybe they still can in the next year because Wemby can make a year 3 jump, Castle in year 2, and of course, De'Aaron Fox being on that team. But there's no rush to being a contender. I mean, they just got the second pick in the draft and a rookie point guard, which is the toughest position to learn in the NBA. So there's still plenty of time, and I mean, the Spurs are just looking great for the future, man. I mean, it's not like they needed to really do a whole lot of work with the second pick. Dylan Harper was kind of just there. And the same thing as well at 14. I mean, the Spurs just got really fortunate to be in this position in this draft.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, some good luck fell their way, and the league, should be on watch for the Spurs going forward in the future. They're gotta get back, I think, to being scary as a franchise once again for multiple years coming up.